in the booth. Talking on the board, you know we spitting the truth. Rubber fight hard, showing love for the game. Owls in the sky, play for more than the fame. Play sharp on the field, eager to rise. Leads chance loud, I see a devoted lives. Barnsley Bridge Warriors stand.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Miller's Monday. I am your host for this evening, Phil. Kingbush is still away on his jolly holidays in Mablethorpe. Tonight we have lots to talk about Rotherham, and we have our two veterans here. We have John. How are we doing, John?
Good evening.
And we have Dave Besley is in the house tonight as well.
Good evening.
We have a brand new panelist as well tonight. The wonderful Kev Johnson has decided to join us. Great to see you, Kev. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me on, Phil. No problem, mate. Thank you for having me.
Just a quick one with you, Kev, as you're brand new to the podcast and everything. Just want to know what your thoughts are on Rotherham this season so far. I know it's only a couple of games in. And we'd like to know where you think Rotherham's going to finish at the end of this season, based on, A, your hopes maybe, and B, how you feel they're performing, and then who's going to be your player of the season as well.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it's the hope that kills you, so I'm not going to be too thoughtful on the actual position, but thoughts so far this season. Like I've said all along, I've said on another podcast as well. It's this season for me is just a complete rebuild. This is why I'm backing Matty Amshaw. I think he needs time. He needs a bit more money from above, and he needs to rebuild the whole squad. He's literally starting again. He inherited probably one of the worst squads we've had in Rotherham history since I've been watching in the good times we've had. And he's managed to get rid of a few players. Still a few more. What we know we need to go. But I like what he signed. I like the youth he's getting in, especially the ones from Holland. I think Rob Scott's finally doing a good job by actually scouting some young players who may have some potential resale value. Position-wise, do you know what? I'd take mid-table, 10th to 15th, because it really is a rebuild. And anything above that, 10th above, it's just a bonus. I don't think we're good enough to go up as it stands. But obviously, there's still time left to get some new players, and I think we definitely need some new players in based on the injuries we got at the weekend. I'll go 10th to 15th as a happy position to finish in. And standout play to me, again, there's not many to choose from, if I'm honest. But I am going to go, based on his last 10 minutes against Stevenage at the weekend. I don't know his first name. Is it somewhat Martha? Is it Gianni Martha? I don't know if they call him. Whoever he's called. The kid, Martha. Yeah. I think.
Oh, Gianni Martha, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think he looks like the one player we've got who's got that little bit of something different, little bit of spark, little bit of skill, who can turn a game. So if based on if we can keep him fit and keep him happy, he could be our standout.
Fabulous. All right, thanks for that, Kev. That's a nice little input there, nice little overview of your thoughts based on Rotherham in this coming season. So let's get straight into it. I want to discuss about that game against Stevenage. I know, obviously, you've all watched it in some way, shape, or form, but I know, Bez, you were there. You got the full feel of the match. So I'll leave it to you, Bez. The floor is yours, mate. Tell us what you think about the game.
So as I'm sure you've heard, seen on social media, from a Rotherham point of view, it wasn't a great performance. I don't think Stevenage were much better, in all honesty. I think they probably edged it. Maybe if you look at the stats, there weren't really many shots between the two teams, and there especially weren't many shots on target. And I think that is probably my concern from the game. Obviously, you already said, Phil, that we're going to talk about it later on. It's the creativity. You've got 3 players in there, which I said on my post review. All 3 of them have got the ability to kind of unlock a defence. And they don't seem to get involved in the game enough. I said before on previous podcast, Kelly, he seems to be showing for the ball constantly, which is good, but he's always shown for the ball really deep. and he can collect the ball and maybe pass on to a number 10 or an attacking fielder or whatever. But it's there where it seems to fall down. We're not getting him behind. A lot of people have a go at Hugh. I know Kev's not a big fan of Jordan, but I don't even remember Jordan losing or winning any headers because the ball wasn't played up to him. Cameron Dawson's kicking looked really poor. It kept going towards Nombe as opposed to Hugo. He's the target man. He's the one who should be challenging for these balls. But as I said, I can't remember him winning or losing hardly any headers. He must have gone up for 3 or 4 headers at most in the whole game. That means we're not utilising him enough for me. Then you've got Nombe, who, again, he's working hard, and he always works hard. But you can always tell when we're not giving service to the striker because Nombe ends up working backwards, and he was ticking balls up from deep in midfield because that's the only way he could, see the ball. So, yeah, overall, not great. A lot of things to work on, a lot of questions for me to be answered by the club, I guess, mainly Matty Hanshaw, the manager. But hopefully we do see some improvement tomorrow at Salford.
Great. Thank you for that, Bez. We've had a quick comment in. We've had loads of comments in. We're having comments in before the actual show went live. Joshua Caswell has put, got to stop with the mannequin defending and the crab walking and actually go for the ball rather than stand off. Like I say, I'm not a Rotherham fan in the slightest. I managed to watch some of the highlights earlier on today. And I did feel as though the majority of those highlights were Stevenage, in favour of Stevenage rather than the highlights given to
Rotherham. Oh.
Was a lack of play, particularly from Rotherham at the back. What's everyone's thoughts on that?
Well, I personally, I actually thought we defended okay, personally. Again, I said in my post-match review that I thought, even though it's apparent that it could have done better for the goal, I felt that Raggett and Agbear were quite good. And again, with Agbear, he's been moved from the centre-back to the left-hand side, and I thought he started doing really well. So my only 2 positives from the game were actually those two centre-backs. So I half disagree with Joshua's comment. I felt defensively we were actually okay. We did limit them to hardly any shots, hardly any chances. That was my thoughts on it anyway.
I agree 50%. I thought Raggett was shocking. I think he had a shocking last season. I really hoped for bigger and better things this season from him. Obviously, when he first played for us, first time round, I know he was younger and fitter, but it was class. And when we signed him last year, I'm thinking, come on, we've got him back. He's going to be brilliant. He was dire last year, and sadly, he's got no better this year. I thought he looked static. I think obviously he went for the goal. Shortly after that, he could have potentially got a red card if they put challenging on the byline. You don't normally see reds for challenges like that, but it were a high late challenge, and purely down to his pace, he was just very slow and off it. But I think the other guy did well at back. I felt a bit sorry for him. But for me, Raggett so far and based on last season is an absolute liability.
Okay.
I think we had a few little technical issues halfway through that conversation, so I do apologise for that. But yeah, I agree. Like you say, from those highlights that I saw, it was very not much movement, not much given from Rotherham in the back, to be fair. The comment about maybe crab-like walking, a bit harsh, but I kind of get where Joshua's coming from. We've got one more.
Sorry, Phil. Did you think Rag had a good game then Saturday? Because I honestly thought he did. I get he's limited in terms of his movement, his pace, but I thought in the air he was really dominant. I thought from obviously, I guess it was his fault for the goal, but I actually felt he had a good game, Raggett, to be honest, on Saturday.
I think he had brief spells, but maybe I just expect too much from the old Sean Raggett what he was playing for us. But I just think he looks very leggy. Looks like he's running treacle. I mean, I was watching the game 2 hours in front. Yeah. It looked like he was playing 2 hours behind. He was that slow.
I'm just going to add one
No,
more.
I do
person
agree with that. I do agree on that.
to the show, guys. So just bear with me a second. We have one more entrance to the show this evening. King Bush, live from Mablethorpe.
Good evening, lads.
Thanks for joining us, Bushy.
So what are we saying?
So there was a comment that was given by Joshua Caswell earlier. He said, got to stop with the mannequin defending and the crab walking and actually go for the ball rather than stand off. The guys have given their opinions on that and their thoughts on that. Just quickly, what's your kind of thoughts on the game then, Bush?
Well, I'm going to be quick because obviously I'm just ready to go and have a meal. But what I'm going to say is that performance was as bad as anything I've seen under Steve Evans. It was absolutely honking. We didn't get near the players. We didn't get near the ball. We didn't have a shot on target. Things have got to change, and they've got to change fast. Now, I want Rotherham to win every game. I'm not going to accept that we're on a rebuild. I think I heard Kev saying we're on a rebuild. We're on a rebuild every season because of the module of how the club is run. That's every season we're on a rebuild. We'll be on a rebuild next season when Powell leaves, when Nombe leaves, and when everybody else, because that's the model of this football club. And until we change the ownership, that model will stay. Now, for me, I've said it from day one. I believe Matt Amshaw is out of his depth at this level. And I want to be proven wrong. But we are so ill-prepared for this season, it is frightening. I could have told you when we lost Malik Wiltz, we needed a striker. It gives JJ a new contract, not good enough. Never going to be fit. He's given McGuckin a contract. That guy should be playing at Stocksbridge Park Steels. We've got Holmes on a contract. Mate, I'm better than him now. I'll get my boots on the beach and I'll splatter him all over. Not good enough. A lot of these players are not good enough. And unfortunately, because it's Matt from Rotherham, we're going to say it's a rebuild. I'll accept 10th and 12th. He gets the same remit for me as what the other manager got. If he does not get us in them playoffs or challenging for promotion, he's gone. And that's it for me.
But Bushy, what do you reckon his budget is? What do you think Amshaw's budget is compared to Steve Evans?
Apparently, it is the same budget that Paul Warne got us promoted on. That's what Paul Davis
Possibly.
come out. Whether you believe Paul Davis
I'm not saying
or
that's
not.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all we can go on. Realistically, if he's a true leader, I don't take the job on a crap budget at this level because you're just set out there to the wolves. I agree with Kev. I do like the younger profile of signings. 100%. We needed to get back to signing players like Barlasses where we can make a bit of money on and develop them. I'm not saying it's wrong that we're signing younger players, but he seems to have got an obsession with their age rather than ability. The Martha lad, I agree with you. He looks good, like he could be a cracking player. Hall looks good, but we don't know, do we? Until we, like I say, I've had time to calm down a bit. I'm a passionate guy. Obviously, we're only 2 games in, and I generally, I would never ever go to a Rotherham game and want us to lose. And I know for a fact there was people going to Rotherham games last season wanting us to lose because Steve Evans were in charge, and I know that for a fact. I'm never going to be that person. I'm still going to back the team. I'm still going to back the manager, but I will call him out when we perform like we do. I'm not going to accept that under any manager. He promised us the bare minimum we would get would be effort, and we didn't even get that at the weekend because we stood off them like mannequins. They would dance round us, allowed them to get the crocs in. Sean Raggett, how tall is he? Getting beat in the air. It's just not good enough.
A lot of appreciation for your comments there, Bushy. Clarky 22, but
how long did it take Paul Warne though to get?
Sorry, Kev, go on.
No, I was just saying to Bushy. I'm thinking, obviously, Bushy. I'm right. You think you were a Paul Warne fan, weren't you, Bushy? Is that right?
I was never really a Paul Warne fan. I loved Evans the first time. obviously the second time he didn't cut it. I don't think. I think he come for a final payday. I don't. The first time he come, he moved to the area. He cared about it. This time, I don't think the players were training. I don't think he fully had the focus. He thought he could sign a few names that have done it at this level and we'd breeze it, and it just doesn't work like that anymore. You've got to have more about you. So I'm happy that Amshaw's got him fitter. I'm happy that we've signed the younger players, but he's got to learn, and he's got to sort of learn fast. I still believe we should have signed a manager that's done it at this level. Like,
going back to Paul Warne bit though.
Yeah, go on quickly, and then I'll get off.
Very quick question, Bushy. Clarky22's put, who would you have in as manager if you was in charge, Bush?
Well, there you go. It's a difficult one, isn't it? It's easy to say. I mean, I would have got the guy that went to Charlton. We nearly got him. I would have got him before
Nathan Jones.
But now we've got Hamshaw. We have got to hope that he does it, because if he doesn't, we're in big trouble. Because that, for me, that out of the 2 games I've seen, the second half last week and the game against Stevenage, I think we'll struggle to even finish in the top 10. So hopefully Tony Stewart gives him a little bit more money and he can do it. But for me, I think it's going to be a difficult season if Hamshaw doesn't start to figure it out pretty quickly. For me, he should have, how many midfielders he signed? Half of them are injury prone. You can't act surprised when you sign players like Benson that get injured every week. We've signed players of a similar ilk. We need somebody in that midfield that can actually tackle and go through a few lads, make them feel uncomfortable. We seem to sign the same profile of player, and they all can't play in that midfield together. You can only have one.
I think Yewood's that type of player, though. I like Yewood.
Yeah, but he didn't. This is the thing, Kev. Why didn't he start Yewood? Because you can't play Dan Gore and players like that together because they're too weak. You need a Yewood with him that's actually going to get stuck in. And that is on Amshaw. He's got Yewood's not injured. That's on Amshaw. That's poor selection from the manager. And that's what I'm saying. He's learning on the job and he needs to learn fast. And I'm just going to be honest and call it out. I don't care whether he's Matt from Rotherham or Matt from Real Madrid. If he's not doing what he should be doing, I'll call him out every week on here. And whether people want to abuse me, do whatever, I don't mind. But I love my football club. I will never go to the game and want us to lose. I always want us to win. Enjoy your show, guys. I'm going to go for my food now.
Thanks for joining us, Bushy.
Cheers, guys.
See you, Bushy.
See you soon, mate.
See, Kev, just on your points, I know what you were trying to say. You were trying to get Lee to say that the budget this year is obviously lower than last year, because it is really, isn't it? But what I would say back to that is the club have actually spent up to £1 million on 3 players. So whether the budget is lower or not, the club still have invested in some players for the manager.
Yep.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100% do, mate. I mean, you know my thoughts on Tony Stewart and the board and stuff like that, and I'm not here to have a go at them this time. I'm more disappointed in how the club have the lack of centenary celebrations and stuff like that, rather than what the investment in the team this year. My point being to Bushy was the Paul Warne, without, I know Paul Warne, a great guy. He brought me and my son, who's 21 now, our best years of watching Rotherham United. They were our glory years. I know he took us down. People say, he goes relegated. He also made us win at Wembley 3 times. That's special. It takes special managers to do that for me. My point being to Bushy then was, Matty Amshaw is a very similar ilk to Paul Warne, and he needs time. He doesn't need 4 games at the back end of last season, 2 games this season to develop that squad and get him playing how he wants to play, the young attacking youth who can, get up and down the wing, who can push and press and all that. He needs time. I don't think it's a half season job. I think he needs a full season. He needs 2 transfer windows, and then I think we'll see the team playing how Matty Amshaw wants that team to play.
Can I ask you a question, Kev?
Yeah.
But if we have a situation like we did last year with Steve Evans, we go horrendous run. So let's say we're bottom. Let's say hypothetically at Christmas we're bottom of the league. Would you be saying then it's time for change, or would you say we still need to give him time?
No, I don't think I would. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a results game, isn't it? And
Yeah,
you're never going to. We've probably got the most fickle fans in the country, so you're always going to get those fans on social media and all. And I was the same last year myself. I've put some stuff like Dave said about Hugel and that. We are very vocal, and it's very easy to type something out and put that. But I think we have. I'm a genuine believer that I do think Hammy does need time, and I'm fully expectant. Like I said, I would be in a 10 to 15th place. I'd be happy with. But we stay up and we rebuild. If obviously the run what you're talking about is disastrous and we lose 8 or 9 on trot, then there's no doubt about it. He will be getting the sack, obviously. But I'd rather just for once stick with someone and give him time and give him a couple of windows. We've not done it. I actually quite liked Matt Taylor. I thought he deserved. Keep us up. I think he deserved another window or so. I think we pulled trigger on him too soon. And I'm sick of Rotherham doing that. Because at the end of the day, it costs us money, which then affects the next manager and his budget. It's not very clever.
Doesn't look good for the team neither, does it? Doesn't bode much, hope for the fans and so on and so forth. Completely agree with you there. Clarky22, a couple of comments that have come in. Clarky22, how many more players do you lads think you need before the end of the window? I think that was in comment to
Well, I agree. So the manager's come out. I think he said last week in his pre-match that he was after, I think, 2 more centre-halves and a striker. I probably agree with that. I think get the 2 centre-halves in, get 1 more striker, and then we're probably settled. That would leave us a little bit short up front because of obviously we've got a lot of injuries, but we can't just keep bringing players in when 1 player gets injured. So yeah, I'd be happy with 2 centre-halves and a striker personally.
Yeah, I'd say at least. I think definitely a striker with Nombe. We can't just rely on Hugo. The Cardiff lad's has had a knock as well, hasn't he? So I think we definitely just probably another. I think another midfielder, so 2 or 3 maybe. Yeah,
I've got here's one for you. Do you know what? I'd be tempted to sell Nombe if we got
would you?
The right price. Yeah, because is he out of contract next year?
Next year, yeah.
I think he's got a year plus 1 extension we could kick in.
Okay. So the reason why I'd look to sell him is because at the minute, right, I know he scored 2 on his opening day. At the minute, because of the way we're playing, we're not creating a lot, he's going to get 10 goals, maybe 15 at most, right? And I think that might lower his value a little bit because I think he's a sort of player that in a future side, for example, who create chances, you could probably get 20, 25 goals and they'd get 5 million quid for him. So I'm almost tempted, while his stock's high, if we can get a couple of million for him, I'd probably sell him personally.
On that subject, Bolton are interested in him. So
I know that's why I said it. What do you think, Kev?
If we sell our star striker to not promotion rival, because I don't think we'll be in the promotion hunt, but to a League One rival team, I think we've got bigger issues than that. It'd be an awful decision to, if someone.
Go on, sorry, Kev. Go on.
No, I was just saying, if someone like mid-championship, lower championship came in, and the money were right, like you said, couple of million, maybe 3, maybe try and squeeze another 1, maybe to go to 3 million. It's probably about the right money, and I'm on your ilk. I'd be severely tempted to take that money and invest it elsewhere. But it's Rotherham. We'll leave it, and at the end of the season we'll take 600 grand, and it'll go to. It's mad.
Well, that's what concerns me. You've got Johansson who went for, let's face it, peanuts. You've got probably one of our best ever players in Ogveni went on a free transfer. That's ridiculous. And I can just see it happening to Nombe, and that's why I'm kind of suggesting let's just sell him now while his stock's high.
It's the same with Powell, though. You can see exactly what's going to happen. We're going to lose him. He'll go somewhere, and it's like Johansson, right? He's apparently going to West Ham for almost 12, 15 million. Where's Rotherham
No, I
sell
think
on
they've
for that?
signed a kid from Leicester, haven't they now?
Oh, have they? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The comments just
But the
coming.
point's still there. The sell-on value is we have nothing
No,
from
totally.
that. You know what I mean?
Another little
But
comments coming.
that's
You guys
above,
need to
that's
get a
above Hammy.
style. Sorry, Kev. It just says here you guys need to get a style and sign the right players to do it. My team, Barnsley, are just beginning to turn it around. It's a hard league to try and play football in. Kind of agree, really.
I think
very hard.
I think everyone's got a style. I think he's right. Everyone's got a style, but I think that goes back to what I'm saying about Hammy and the Paul Warne era. We had a style. You know, it weren't sexy football. It was just hard working, high press. You know, competitive football, and that's what I want. I agree with him. I live in Barnes. I see him a bit, and a lot of my mates are Barnes fans. Another team, Donny Rovers. I mean, we shouldn't be sat in our saying that Barnes and Donny Rovers have got a better style than us. We should be talking about them looking at our style, but we're not. And he's right. Lisa's husband, Andy, is absolutely right. We've not got a style, but that's because we've gone through 3 or 4 managers in the last 2 seasons who've all got their own different styles. Steve Evans ripped that apart last year, bringing in the style of gung-ho, chuck everything forward, and someone's got to rebuild that, and someone's got to get our style back, and I think it's Matt Hamshaw.
Fab. Anything else to add, guys, on kind of the team growing, the game itself? I mean, I think there was a comment about who do you think was to blame for the goal, and I think I read Sean Raggett. Somebody mentioned.
So it was a cross that came in, and their target man beat Raggett in the air, and he headed it in. But I think if you all look, I don't think you can blame one player, but I'm pretty sure Denzel Hall actually gave the ball away, like a few seconds beforehand. So if you're looking to blame anyone, it'd probably be him. I don't blame Raggett for. Look, Raggett jumped for the wall from what I remember. I've not seen it back. Raggett jumped for the wall, and he would just start jumped by their 6'3" target man, Jamie Reid, who is a target man. That's all it was. I don't think it was a mistake by him personally. I didn't think that anyway, personally.
Okay, that's cool. Another one, Joshua Caswell's, but apparently there were a clear penalty.
Yeah.
Wasn't
yeah, they were.
given.
So I'm glad he's brought it up, actually. Around 80 minutes,
handball.
It was a clear handball, yeah. And now, me and my group of friends who go to the Rotherham games, we're normally those fans who we never think Rotherham deserve penalties. So, if it's a foul, we'll say, that's not a penalty, just get up and get on with it. And it was a definite penalty. His arm was stretched out, it hit his arm, it moved the flight of the ball. It was 100% a penalty. No question. It was 100% a penalty. Don't know why it wasn't given.
I was going to say the referee didn't even flinch, didn't even think about it. No,
he might have been blocked. So they were, because it was obviously in the penalty box. So there were quite a few plays between the ref and the where the handball was kind of done. So maybe you couldn't see. I don't know, but it was a clear pen, definitely.
It was shocking. The referee was shocking all game. It looked like he never got an handle on the game at all. You can pinpoint the referee. I also think he'll let down by his official. Great view, but the linesman had a much better view from the side he stood at. The 4th official who could have possibly got involved. It was just a weak referee. He just saw it hit some part of his body, go out for a corner. Just easy decision to get a corner.
And kind of what rough minute was that in that?
Yeah, around 80 minutes. So we'd have got a draw out of the game. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have turned
We'd have won it
quite a bit. Never know. You just don't know. The ball goes in, do you? You don't know where it can lie. No. Okay, so if we're happy with that, I'm going to move us on to the player ratings. So we're going to go over what the general consensus is from our viewers and our people on social media that are following us. And then I'm going to come to you guys and see what you think. So all the player ratings are out of 10. I'll go through the starting 11 and see where everyone feels, whether you feel that that's a good grading or not, and whether you feel as though it should go up, should go down, and any particular views you might have on that particular player. So we'll start with Cameron Dawson. He got the highest grade of everybody else, so we put him down as the man of the match. He got 5, so highest out of 10, but he got 5, and he ended up with the man of the match. So it tells you where the rest of these scores are going tonight.
I mean, the only thing I'd say, he didn't have anything to do, really. The only thing I would say, and I've already said it, is his kicking was really poor. You know, every pass back that came to him, he seemed to slice it a little bit. So he didn't really have a save to make. He came and collected a few crosses. So I'd probably say that's fair. To be honest with you, 5.
Kev, what do you reckon?
I don't think it were. I don't think it were best. I don't think it were the best pitch. I think a lot of players seem to be struggling with simple passes. It seems to be a bit bobbler, a bit all over. So I agree with you though. His kicking weren't brilliant, but I put it down a bit down to pitch. I think 5's harsh. I think if he'd made some errors and was at fault and stuff like that, fair dues. But like Dave just said, he didn't really have much to do apart from not a lot really. So I'd probably give him a 6.
If you say 6 is average, then maybe he should have got a 6. Then that's probably the average score, isn't it? So maybe he should have got a 6.
John, you've been a bit quiet. What do you reckon?
Sorry. Nothing to really add, really. Is that I've seen the highlights, as you said, the distributions. Well, it's night and day, and I think the game 1, he'd missed a few long balls for going a bit straight to Nombe and Hugo, but I don't know. I've not really seen the pitch. I wasn't really paying attention. So if the pitch, I don't know if that got something. But if he hasn't had anything to do, why is it 5? Shouldn't it be, like you say, 6? Yeah, 6 seems a good score.
Yeah. People in the comments saying 4, 5. Again, no one really going over 5. But like you say, if you're thinking average, you know, he didn't have much to do. 6 is more of a reasonable amount. So maybe the fans are going a bit harsh on the 5 there. Okay, moving on. Joe Rafferty. We've got Joe Rafferty down as 4. Now, I'll just quickly go through this. I've watched the highlights and I've gone, there was clearly a problem in defence in general. However, majority of the 4s, or the values that are given as 4, are mainly for defenders. And it's the midfielders and the strikers really that have suffered in terms of this points situation. So I was a bit confused by that. But yeah, Joe Rafferty is down as 4. What do we think?
The defence, as I've said, the defence was fine. I felt like, look, Stevenage have just gone to Blackpool and scored 3 goals against the Steve Roos side, where Steve Roos is renowned for grinding results out and keeping clean sheets, and they've got 3. We only conceded 1. Didn't really like scoring, Stevenage. He had an odd chance, but didn't really like scoring. So I actually felt the defence did okay. For me, 4's low. I'd say all of the 3 centre-Rs, they should be getting probably a 6 for me. Again, it's just an average score, but I'd be giving them a 6. I'd give Agner a 7 just because he looked a bit more composed on the ball than the other 2.
Yeah. Kev, do you agree? John, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I agree. Everything. Go on, John. Sorry, mate.
No, it's okay.
I was going to say I agree. I think the defence part of it. You know my gripes about Raggy, but I'm not. It's like just Raggy's not my go-to man for mourning this year. I just thought he had a bad game and he had a bad end season. But I think I agree with the back 4. You know, could he have been quicker? Could he have done better with the goal? I think so. Yes. And does he need to sharpen up? I think so. Yes. But regarding Rafferty's score, I think another 5 would be fine. Maybe even a 6.
Yeah, I mean, just to add, I think if we had been sat here like game 10 and we'd just been beat 4-0, I'd be saying probably a 3 or 4. But with game week 2, we've had a really good game first weekend where we're singing their praises. This is still a fairly new back line that are still gelling together. The new lads that have just come in. I think anything like even less than a 5 is harsh at this point. And last week I was the highest critic for most players, so that'll be coming as a shock to some of the panel to my top right. But yeah, I think 5.
I was the highest critic. You gave everyone 10 out of 10s, didn't you?
It wasn't 10, but yeah, definitely at this early stage, I think to be saying it was. I don't like this idea as well. It's one person's fault. I think it's a team game, right? Yeah, we can say there's individual errors, but we're working as a team. We defend as a team. We attack as a team. So as a whole, if we're conceding goals, it's a team fault. It's not a single. Unless it's a blatant foul in the penalty area, then I disagree. But I think we need to get away from this. It's one person's fault. There's multiple errors leading up to that goal. Multiple.
I think absolutely right, John. I think with every team, really, it's never on one person. It should never be on one person, unless, like you say, it's a categoric foul or a red card or something like that. I think the fans have gone really harsh this week. Yeah. Just in general, we've got Joe Rafter there, obviously 4. You guys think that's a bit harsh, a bit higher than that. In the comments, we're getting 4s in the comments as well. So maybe the fans are feeling the pressure a little bit. Second game,
I think it backs up what Kev was saying. Actually, we are the most fickle fan base ever, where we do go from to just beating someone 1-0. Let's give them a 10 out of 10 for everything. And then the next week we've lost 1-0. Let's give them a 2 out of 10. So I think that kind of backs up what Kev was saying about our fan base. And I know all fan bases are fickle to some extent, but we do seem to have a very, very fickle fan base, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, it's my first time. I watched last week's show, but first time hosting this show, and I feel as though just looking at going off what you guys have been saying so far about the game and the team and so on and so forth, and then what the fans are saying, it seems to be very, very mixed. So I kind of get that, Bez. Very fickle, very, very fickle. Let's fly through a few of these defenders then. So we've got Sean Raggett. He was given 4 as well. Kev, you kind of said you don't want to be so much on Sean, but you did think it was a very bad game.
I think 4's very generous. I do like Sean Raggett. I think he's an absolute quality player when he's on his game. Sadly, he's not been on his game. He weren't on his game last season because he spent most of it on his back in an injury table. And he's looked off the pace since he came back. So yeah, I think 4's generous, but I do think there is a very good player in there. If Amy can get him back to the levels we know Sean Raggett can play at.
Apparently, Lisa's husband, Andy, here says, the Sheffield clubs are the most fickle fan bases. That's what you were saying, Baz, apparently. So do we kind of agree with Kev on the Sean Raggett thing? Are we thinking that, maybe he shouldn't have even started?
Well, what I would say is we were driving down and, as everyone always does before a game, they're trying to guess what the team's going to be. When it was announced that Raggett was starting, I'll be honest, we were all really shocked. I didn't think any of us thought he was fit. So I suppose what I would say, that's Kev, is he's not 100%. He's probably playing at 70%. So maybe he does deserve a little bit of slack. I don't know. I know he was awful last season. I know he was very injury prone last season, but at least he's played the full 90 minutes this time. Maybe he had to. I don't know.
We got a comment from Joshua Caswell.
But why not wait though?
Why not wait for him to before he's fit? Because they've got no one else to play. Who else could he have played it?
No, why not wait? Why not wait while Tuesday? Tomorrow night we're playing a nonsense cup game against a League 2 crap team. Play him then. Play against them and give him 90 minutes against them when it's not. If we lose tomorrow. I know that. Lose tomorrow. It's not important.
Jules, obviously, Jules are suspended. We had no other centre half. We've not even got like a midfielder who could drop into centre half. I honestly think he just played because there was literally no one else. Now, I'd rather play a 70% Sean Raggett there than a Reece James, for example, who he's not the most dominant in defence. So that's what I'd rather do. I'd rather play Raggett than like a Reece James or Kelly, Hall. That was the other rumour that Hall could play centre half. I'm pretty sure Hall played centre half in one of those friendlies that we lost, 4-0 or 4-1 and 5-0. So I'd rather not do that.
Yeah.
Isn't Hall a right back as well?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, he's the right wing back. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Yearwood could have dropped in centre back. I don't know.
I don't think Yearwood's the player you think is. I know Lee was saying that he's a tackler. He's not. He's more. When we watched him at Harrogate, he was more like a technical player. Just you wait to watch him. He's more technical than you think.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sean Raggett, maybe shouldn't have been playing. We've got a 7 in the comments, but okay, we'll go with the panel saying that 4 was very generous. What about Lenny Is it Lenny Agbe? Is it?
Yeah,
I think that we've got a 4 again for Lenny. John, what do you reckon?
John.
I think he is a phenomenal player. I honestly, for the how young he is, I said this game week 1. Aerially, that he's got such a good. You can see that if he stays at Rotherham, he will become a great player. But it's keeping hold of him. I wouldn't go any. I'd say 6, 7. He's probably the best of the bad bunch.
Yeah, I'd already said I'd give.
I think you're a man of match for me. The weekend.
Yeah, I'd agree with Kev.
Okay, so the fans are too fickle again. Joshua Caswell's put a 6 for Lenny, but yeah. So actually, you think he was?
Josh gave Raggett a 7.
Well, that's true. That is true. Man. Okay, moving on. Liam Kelly, what do we reckon? Liam Kelly, the fans are saying 3.
Oof.
That's like, again, considering he's more like a defensive midfielder and we only conceded 1 goal. I do think that's very harsh. Yeah. Look, he wasn't excellent. And the thing with Kelly is, and I've said it on this podcast before, he's always wanting the ball, Kelly, which I really like. So, when you're always wanting the ball, you're more than likely going to give it away more than anyone else. So sometimes you've got to bear that in mind. I would probably give Kelly a 5, possibly a 6. In fact, I'm going to change it to a 6. That's what I'd give Kelly.
Kev, good old chuckle there. Is that an agreement chuckle or is that not?
I just don't think that. I don't think the game. Kind of. I just don't think that was Kelly's game. I don't think that was type of game. Kelly, I agree with Rezi. That is a good defensive midfielder. I also think Kelly's used to. I mean this in a nice possible way. Is a bit of a pampered player. He's used to playing on brilliant pitches at Coventry Stadium and stuff like that. And I think he needs that. That Stevenage away is not Kelly's type of game. He'd be much better against your likes of it. When we're playing top teams, Bolton, he'd have more time on the ball, pick passes on a better pitch. Maybe again, who else do we play though? I don't think that was Kelly's best game, but I think he's a good player. So I think I'd agree with his score.
Fabulous. Okay then, Denzel Hall. Again, the fans are saying 3.
Second game in England, like, come on, guys. Like, I'm a harsh critic, but 3. It's a second game. I don't think he's tracked back again to try and stop the goal. He's trying to put his body on the line defensively. There's a cracking. I think we need to be encouraging these young players, not burning them down to the ground currently. I honestly think we're game. Like I said, right? If it was game week 10, have a go at him. Do you know what I mean? But it's game week 2, man.
Yeah, I think you're right there, John. We need to, and I think the fans need to understand it is game week 2. Get your head back into it. Give these players a chance. Denzel's a young player. Give him a chance. Give him, yes, they might not be amazing in every single game, but yeah, let's hope these players aren't watching because it's quite brutal. Really. Quite brutal.
I'd agree with if you look at the comments, they're saying 6 and 5, so I'd agree with that. Just 5.5, 5.5. We'll do that.
Oh, not 0.5s again, please. Not this again.
I'm happy with the 5.5. Okay, Reece James. I think his name was mentioned earlier. Reece James got a 4.
I seriously thought James actually had a good game, and again, I as we were kind of heading back towards Rotherham on Saturday, I was arguing with lads who was with me. I actually thought James had a good game. He defensively, he can be a little bit shaky. He has made mistakes previously, like he's given penalties away last season, what have you. But what I like about James is I think his distribution is superb. Like, he doesn't just whack it long. He always plays more into midfield or more into a striker's feed. So, and I thought he did that well on Saturday. So I totally give him a 6. Between him and Adware for my man at match.
Fabulous. Kev, you're nodding. You seem to be agree with that, let's say.
Yeah, I like him. And I sound like my biggest motive is the pitch, because I think he's another player who plays on a much better surface against better teams. I think his distribution's quality on his day. Again, it just weren't his type of game. We are being real. He's one of our best. He's one of our best players. One of our, the amount of chance he created last season, assists and that, whipping the ball into the box. It just weren't his day. I'm going to say the pitch again. Didn't help him. Didn't help his distribution. I don't think he had a bad game. I think he was a solid 6.
Yeah, we've got Joshua Caswell again commenting. He put a 5, but then he's more of a midfielder than a left back, isn't he, James?
So the question I have for you is then, Kev, and I think you've mentioned it about a couple of players about the pitch. So coming from a topper end pitchers playing well at Coventry, these players are going to end up playing at these, especially in the winter months. These sorts of pitches are going to become more regular. So my question is, do you think these players who we are seeing struggle on these, they're going to have to acclimatise quite quickly? Whereas, last season we didn't see that with James. Let's be fair, we had a poor season last season. Yeah. This is a second season. How do we go about as a team saying, this is what we've got as a pitch, this is what we have to deal with. We've got the quality, James, Powell. How do they get in their brain that they can do well on these crapper pitches?
Oh, is he gone?
Well, I think we've got the perfect training ground to give them. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I think we've got the perfect training ground to... Go. Perfect training ground to give the players that opportunity to play on shit pitches, because, let's be right, Roundwood it's a non-league pitch, it's crap. So give them time to get them practicing on Roundwood more, get them used to these rubbish pitches. Because, like, you're right, John. We are going to play on worse pitches, and it's a silly comment for me. It's a throwaway comment for me. And the players, if you're a professional footballer, you should be able to play on any pitch, whether it's 4G, 5G, concrete. It's an excuse on my part, but I just think, me personally, them players would play better on like that grass you can see behind John New York Stadium. It just suits them.
Fabulous. Right, moving on. Straight into midfielder then, really. You've got Daniel Gore. Fans are saying 3 for Daniel Gore.
I want to hear John's first, because obviously last week, John, obviously, and Lee, I think, John and someone else on, I don't know, it was not Lee, they were rating Dan Gore and giving 9s out of 10s and what have you. And I was the only one who said that he deserved, I think, a 6 or a 7, I think I gave him. So I'm intrigued to see what John says today.
I'd like to plead the 5th. Thank you. Let's move on. No, in seriousness, I was reading the fickle fans, let's call them, on Saturday evening, and it was Dan Gore was getting bullied off the ball. Dan Gore, and it was like night and day to the first game. Again, could Kev be making a good point? Is he too pampered at Manchester United football ground, training facilities? Is he not used to this kind of crappy pitch? I don't know, but he definitely lost his way on Saturday. Definitely lost his way. I wouldn't say 3 though. I definitely wouldn't put him as low as 3.
Just a quick comment come in about the pitches. No pitch is worse than Roundwood. you could have a perfect injury-free record. And still get
Bro. Well, look at Benson. He's got
True.
a contact injury,
Oh.
but he's come out and said that Roundwood's perfectly fine. You don't get contact injuries if your training facilities are not.
Yeah, the training
My-
pitch and the training facilities is another conversation. I think we'll probably have to park for another day.
Maybe want to chat about mid-season when the fickle fans are saying that we're losing even more.
Just on, sorry Phil, just on Dangor. He just I think he was trying to get involved in the game on Saturday, but he just couldn't get involved. I think he's not the type of player who can like pick up the ball deep and create something from deep. He probably needs help. Now it's interesting because I actually think that Yearwood will work well with Dangor because again, when we watched Yearwood at Harrogate, he kept like flicking the ball around the corner, and he's good first touch. He'd get the ball out of his feet quickly, get into midfield quickly, and I just think that him and Gore, because technically wise they're both quite good, I think they can work well together. So I'm really hoping that they both play tomorrow, just to see if we get a glimpse of it. The only issue I've got with Gore is, and this is a term that we kind of throw around in my circle of friends, is Gore a home player only? Meaning he's not going to play well away from home.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
Absolutely, John. Okay, 3 more to go through for the starting 11. Joe Powell, 3 again from the fickle fans, we'll call him.
He just again, he didn't really get into the game. He was trying to get into the game just like Gore was, just like Kelly was. He just couldn't get into the game. I do think 3 slightly harsh, but I'd only give him a 5 at most, because it's these players' jobs to create chances. You know, Powell, Gore, Kelly, etc. And I don't think they created one good chance. So maybe a 3. No, I think maybe a 3 is fair. Now I think about it.
Josh, see, the fans are not agreeing. Joshua Caswell says 7. Rotherham Gaming, Nick in brackets, says 5. And Fraser JL, first time commenting tonight, has put, nah, Powell had to do everything.
Yeah, okay.
Had to drive on his own.
Yeah, to be fair, I agree with Fraser that he was trying to cover a lot of ground himself, which, again, it does make Gore not sound very good, because I think, like I said before, Kelly, I think he does cover a lot of ground. So if Powell's out to cover someone else, it will have been Gore, I'm afraid. So I half agree with that, what Fraser said.
I absolutely agree with what Fraser just said. I think I noticed quite a few occasions on Saturday. Powell had the ball on the left, obviously, cut in, and there was nobody in the channels, nobody to distribute the ball to, and he ended up pretty much running across the whole of the pitch to the other side because he had no one to pass the ball to. I agree. He was on his own. He was left. He had no support and no one. Probably due to injuries and due to Nombe going off and Tete going off and all that. He had no one to pass the ball to. Simple as that.
A bit of an unfortunate, waste of a good player. Sounds like them, really.
I really rate Powell. I really rate, and I really digged in at him last season because there was times where he couldn't even get the corner past like the corner flag at points. But I think if you look at his stats, he covered the most ground in League One. There's some player there, and I think what I was thinking was just then actually. Do we think we've got very similar style players around Powell? So Gore, Powell, Yearwood. I feel like they're very similar-minded players in sense of creativity, distribution. That, like you said earlier, Dave, there's not really a standout player that would be like how can I explain it? Like a Shelby, like a ball-winning, hard tackler. There's a lot of passing, and there's not really like a stuck-in defender. Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree. What I would say, I do agree with you completely. I don't think you've got that midfield there. But then again, with the formation that we're playing, I don't think you need that midfielder because you've got 3 centre-halves who, if you've got 3 centre-halves playing, you shouldn't need a defensive midfielder as well. So I think, even though I think you're right, I think these players are very similar in terms of how they create and the quality they've got. I think it could still work if they can just somehow work together. I mean, again, I know Kev said at the start of the show, maybe we just need to give them time to gel. They've had 2 professional games of football together, so maybe they do just need a bit of time.
Yeah.
Lots of comments coming in about that. Connor Jameson's put is going to be controversial, saying he thinks that he's a bit overrated.
He's a bit. I'd say the only issue with Powell is he can be inconsistent, is what I'd say. I said this on last week's show, but he had that stat where I think he created the most chances in the whole of the EFL, I think, or maybe second place. So, if we've got that in your team, that's a good sign. Yes, I get he takes every corner, every free kick, so you're going to create chances automatically. But to have that in your team, it must be half decent. So I disagree with what Connor's saying, but I do agree that he can be inconsistent.
Yeah, so because 2 things on there, Bez. Fraser's put most chances in the entire AFL last season. If that doesn't speak his quality, then I'm not sure what does.
Yeah.
But kind of Connor's backed himself up by saying, unfortunately, if an average player is surrounded by rubbish, he is made to look better.
Again, I kind of agree. I remember having this argument with about Sheffield Wednesday and Barry Bannon, actually, because I don't watch Wednesday, but Barry Bannon at one point, he was getting every single assist. That's because there was only him who was creating the whole team. So again, I kind of look. I like Powell. I do like him, but I do again kind of agree with what what Connor's saying. He's almost. We had a terrible last season. Was our worst season for about 10 years, if not longer. Practically like 12 or 13 years. So, you are going to, if you've had that boring season, you are going to have a lot of really poor players who have been playing in the side. And it only takes one half decent player to look good. So I do agree to an extent with what Connor is saying.
So in general, a lot of love for Joe Powell then in the team. Yeah.
What do you think, Kev?
Yeah, I'm a big Powell fan. Earlier on, when I was talking about most chances created, I think I was talking about Joe Powell. I didn't quite hear what you were talking about when I said on his day he needs that thing. I love him. I think he's a great player. I weren't sold when he first came, if I'm honest. I think last year I thought, especially at the beginning, I thought he was a bit of an extravagant player. I think he annoyed him with his run up. He does his little tippy tappy run up every time, and that weirdly wound me up. I don't know why. Shouldn't wind me up, but he did. But grew on me, and I think he's definitely one of the. He's got the quality. He's got that when he pings that left foot in and gets them crosses in. But like someone just said about being surrounded by average players, he's absolutely right. What's the point in having someone who can put a football on a 10 bob in the box when there's nobody in the box?
Yeah,
kind of defeats the object.
No, absolutely agree. Maybe a few more just as good quality players around him. Who knows where it can go. Mentioned him a couple of times tonight. Sam Nom, what do we reckon? Fans are saying 3.
3?
3.
Harsh.
I don't think. If I'm honest,
from the highlights, I think that's quite harsh. To be fair, from what I saw on the highlights,
very harsh.
I don't think he should have played.
He was injured, weren't he?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
he was. What I would say for him,
he pulled up earlier.
Go on, sorry, Kev. Go on, Kev.
No, I was sorry, mate. By the way, sorry for my internet. It seems a bit slow tonight. I keep interrupting, so apologies. But no, about Nombe, he was struggling earlier. He went down early, and I thought he's coming off. And then he got back up and carried on. And the innocuous challenge went in, and he seemed to fall awkwardly. And it looked like he pulled his arm. Then he came. I'm thinking, yeah, I think he was struggling. We knew we were 50-50 to play. So
yeah,
I mean, maybe I'm going to sound like Bush here, but maybe that's on. I'm sure. Maybe, but Who else can he play? Who else can he play? I mean, McGuckin's nowhere near ready. When McGuckin came on, I love the lad. I think he's a great prospect, but it's like it reminds me of Yates, who's now about
Jerry Yates,
like a big shit house. Jerry Yates, but when he first played for us, Jerry Yates, he was exactly the same. He came on, he got knocked off ball too easily, with too lightweight. But that's what probably happened. We'll let McGuckin go for free transfer end of season, and he'll probably 3 years later come back bolt up to shit and knock hell out of us.
Probably.
You see, your comment there, Kev, about Nombe. See, I'm arguably saying the same about Raggett. You know, there's no one else to play, so he had to play. Is that not the same argument? Okay.
Yeah.
I think what I did say about Nombe, he was absolutely gutted to get brought off. You know, he was really upset. It's like I think they're just different positions, aren't they? It's like, you know, you've got. I know it sounds daft, and
carry on, Kev.
Yeah. No, sorry. I was the different positions. I know. I agree, Bez. Maybe I'm a bit harsh on it if there's no one else to play there. I just think it's a different. I think Nombe are more of a gamble. I think Matt Amshaw looked at the team sheet and thought, "Who the hell is going to get our goals today? I'm going to have to take a punt. Whether he's fit or not, I'm going to have to take a punt." So I completely get your point, and I think Nombe were more of a gamble. We needed to play Sam Nombe for that reason.
I'm just reading the comments. Apparently, someone's saying he's out for 8 weeks. So, if that's the case, and we've got Hugo, because the Cardiff lad went off injured, and we got Matt Amshaw going, well, we might need a striker. We've got, my mind is just saying, surely we should have been in the market. I mean, I know we brought the Cardiff lad in, but we shouldn't be going scrambling around now, going, crap, we need 2 strikers. We shouldn't be in this position. Like, you should know to get the position we're in. We've got 2 strikers now. We can't rely on Hugo. I'm sorry, we can't.
Which brings me lovingly on to Jordan Hugill. Fans are saying 3. Generous? Is that you know?
Is that how many times he touched the ball?
Yeah, exactly, Kev. Like Jordan Hugill and Sam Nombe weren't involved in the game. So you can say one thing about Nombe and different about Hugill, but the facts are neither of them in the game. The difference was Nombe started because he weren't getting any service. He did start working back and collecting the ball from Defa. Now I don't want Hugill to do that, to be honest with you.
No.
Now, Hugill is a target man. Hugill needs the ball sent to his head or his chest or into his feet. We didn't do any of that. So look, I get Hugill's not very popular, and we will talk about Hugill as the season goes on. For this one game, he should just get a 4 or a 5, just under average, because he got no service whatsoever from the team.
So just a quick one. We've got Fraser has put 100, needs his Ballon d'Or nomination. But I put that one up because we have currently got 100 viewers on the stream.
Wow.
As well, right?
Cool. That's good. Good.
It's been climbing and climbing all evening, and we're on 100.
What
I am
would say
at time though, guys. So go on, John. Say what you want.
No,
to say.
what I would say is, I have slated Hugo last week. But tomorrow, Tuesday. Yeah, tomorrow we've got a game, haven't we? Tomorrow is his night to shine. Because last year he carried us in that competition. So I'm expecting Hugo tomorrow. He should be getting 12. You know, I'm going to rate him 12 now, and because he's going to score 3 tomorrow. I'm a Hugo believer tomorrow. You can carry us through, Hugo, please.
Hugo's the man. Hugo's going to do it. A few more comments coming in. Connor's put, unfortunately, they're getting relegated season after season. The budget gets smaller and smaller, and the transfer strategies have changed. But ideally, we would have had more in by now.
Agreed. Yeah.
Totally.
So that's going to bring us on to our next subject. I'm just conscious about the time and everything. So Henshaw, we've been talking about the team. I think we need to have a quick conversation about the manager. Are we a fan? Are we not a fan? What's our views on him not coming over at the end of that match to clap the fans?
Yeah.
Do we think, he's been in post since mid-April after being an assistant manager. Do we think he's doing an okay job? Have we got to give him some more time? What's your guys' thoughts?
Let me just address the... Yeah, so, Phil, let me just address the... So I was one who kind of wanted to raise this because I don't know if Kev or John are aware. So he, obviously after an away game, you normally get the squad and the manager do come all the way over and they'll clap the away fans. Hampshire did not do that. Now, whether or not he did clap like from his dugout or close to the dugout, I'm honestly not sure. But even still, I don't like that. To me, he should have come across and he should have clapped the travelling fans who had just spent 150 quid, spent a 6-hour round trip supporting the team. So that's the reason I kind of wanted this segment in. Now, I'll let Kevin, John kind of discuss their thoughts on Hampshire. To be fair to Kev, he's already done that anyway. But I'll let them talk about Hampshire. But I just wanted to highlight that, and it did really annoy me. I'm not going to lie.
Thanks for that, Bez. I think Josh was agreed with you. I think regardless of the result, you should always clap the fans.
Yeah,
agreed. I'm a fan in that. I'm a Forest fan through and through, and the managers they're always doing it. They're advocating for it. The team are advocating for it, and it should be just a thing that you do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, time's not our friend, but we saw this late towards the end of Steve Evans's term. He sometimes he didn't even clap home fans. So definitely needs more time. I don't think, like I said to Kev before the podcast, if we're in the crap at Christmas, we'll see how it goes. But why is he not saying thank you? Like that's a sign of appreciation. Why is he not saying to the fans, thanks for travelling?
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think I'm gonna put it down to Matty Hampshire were bitterly disappointed with his players at the weekend, and probably couldn't wait to get down that tunnel and give him a bollocking. I completely agree with what everyone's saying, Bez and John. He should be clapping the fans at least going out or sending the players over, and he should be clapping them. But when it comes down to time, we've got to give him time. We've got to give him another window or two. We've got to give him time. It's about time. Like I said earlier, I'm repeating myself, but we've got to back a manager and stick with him and believe that he can turn it around. Like I said, Paul Warne went 21 games, was it, without a win or something daft like that. It was a ridiculous amount of time. And look what joys he brought us. I fully believe that Matt Hampshire can bring us the same rewards if we stick with him.
Yeah.
That's fab. That's really fab. It's nice to hear, to be fair, because I've been looking online. I've been looking on X, and you hear all sorts of things. Been looking on, the usual things and the usual podcast online and so on and so forth. And it's very, very mixed about him. But it sounds like he's doing an okay job. He's maybe not had the turn of luck that he wants. Maybe the money that's coming into the club isn't enough for him to bring the right players that he wants in. Maybe a little bit more time, like you say, a couple of more transfer windows and see where he actually is. It sounds not such a bad situation to be in, considering some of the other clubs that we've got in League One. To be fair, a comment was made. Me and Bez had a bit of a chat beforehand. There was a comment made about the team itself and the lack of creativity. I know we've talked about the player ratings and how the players played on Saturday, but a lack of creativity, even though you have a set of players there who, in general, are very creative. So do we feel as though the players aren't being given enough of that chance to be more creative, or is it more focus on each game? Where do you guys think it all falls down to? Do you agree? Do you agree more than anything?
Well, from obviously myself, who kind of raised the point, we probably have covered it a lot through the podcast anyway. But it's simple as for me, you've got three what I call as creative midfielders that were on that pitch on Saturday, and we didn't really create anything. Now, I don't really know what the issue is. Now, my whole concern, and I was going to come on this as well, is, and I get your point, Kev, about giving making sure we give the manager a chance to bed things in. My concern is I don't really know what we're trying to do. Like, we're not that in pre-season. When I went to watch them at Harrogate, we started playing the ball out the back from the goalkeeper to the defence into midfield. Now, straight away, I looked at that and thought, oh, God, here we go again. We've tried this before, don't work, right? Then the first game of the season, and then on Saturday, we're not playing that at all. So, reading between the lines, it looks to me like the manager tried to implement a new style, and because of the two friendly games, we had the Gambit, Sheffield United and Accrington, he's almost kind of done a full circle and gone back, and that's why we're not really showing any tactical awareness at all now, and that's my big concern.
Yeah, I do get that. I get that. I kind of agree. I think that goes down to players we've got. Maybe Ami's after the pre-season. Maybe Ami's realised that we've not got them type of players in who like. No, just I'm not picking on Raggett, but what's the point in Cam Dawson playing a 10-yard pass to Sean Raggett, who's then literally going to boot it 80 yards up front? He's got to have them players around him to play that, and I think he's realised that. I think he's realised that he's not got that quality yet who can play that type of football, so he just reverted back to let's get it up top and see what happens.
What I would say quickly, because I know and we've got a few more things before we finish, so I'm just conscious of time. I'm going to agree with Dave, what Dave was saying last week, and he hammered it home, and I'm kind of going to reinforce it a little bit, because he's time and time again last Monday, we're at game week 2, it's not as if we're 15 games deep. I think game week 1 we created chances at home like never before. We've never created so many chances at home in the first 10 minutes all season, and then we come away from home and it's almost like there's no real plan, if I'm honest, there's no plan A. I don't think there's a plan B or C. What I would say objectively is, yes, we had the lowest shots created, 2 shots on target the entire game. I think we just didn't set up right, and I think that again that comes down to I think it's in the comments, inexperience from the manager. But we've got to just give this team, a group of players, more time. We can't just expect 4-0 wins every week. We just can't.
No, absolutely, John. Absolutely. It brings us kind of on to one of the last things that we want to discuss, really. I got shown a tweet off X from a very supportive Rotherham fan, the Positive Miller. She's put on, we've lost 1 game. I'm not interested in watching or listening to people on a podcast, funnily enough, discuss or dissect the match. Let's move on and support the team and management rather than creating a narrative. Let's support club rather than getting on their backs. There's an idea. And it kind of goes off what you're saying a little bit, John. We're 2 games in. Let's be real. We've had a win, we've had a loss. And on 2 games in, on a tough league as it is, going through what Rotherham's been through for the last, so many seasons, and I kind of agree with her a little bit. I mean, I don't know, you guys.
I agree. I agree completely with what the Positive Miller is saying. I just wish there was something we could get behind. Like, I just wish the club, like again, Kev mentioned it earlier. It's not just about the football; it's the club side as well. We're in our centenary year, and no, you couldn't tell. I don't think if you went to a Wickham fan and said, do you know we're in our 100th year? I don't think you'd have a clue, because we're not shouting about that enough. It's not just about what's happening on the pitch. It's also the club as well. Kev there's got that black and white shirt on. That's my favourite of the 3. I got told it would be released, I think, at the start of July. We're now in August, halfway through August, and you still can't legally buy it. Sorry, Kev.
It's not illegal. DHK is not illegal.
Yeah. Well, it's not illegal. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's just, look, it's not just about the playing, as I said. It's the club side of it as well. On last week's podcast, obviously, there was a lot of hate for Mr. Douglas as well as Mr. Stewart, and unfortunately, I kind of agree with what was said last week. I just wish there was something like if someone could say to me, Rotherham are trying to do this or they're trying to do that, then I'd be like, okay, fair enough. I'll get behind that and support them. It's just that there seems to be nothing from the club for me to get behind, and that's why I am quite negative at the minute.
Yeah, I've got to be careful what I say, because I've been in a bit of trouble with the club for saying. I've been asked to remove tweets. There's all sorts of gone, but and to be fair to them, they do help me with certain things with the Legends Nights and some of the charity work and all. So I mean it in a nice possible way, but I completely agree with Bez. What I'm disappointed in is, for me, this centenary should have been about getting the fans involved and celebrating Rotherham as a centenary club. To me, all it feels like is Tony Stewart and the board rinsing Rotherham fans for more and more money. Well, yeah. I mean, I've got a coin here. I bought it because I wanted to buy it. You know, I think it was 30 quid. I'm not even sure. Like this Centenary Legends Night coming up, it's 100 quid. It's £100 for a 2 or 3 course meal. It's just too much money. What I'd rather the club doing is, like Beth says, we might, but give the fans something back, reward them for the loyalty and celebrate a centenary rather than just try and rinse them for money. And that's what, to me, it feels like. That's what I'm disappointing. So I'm saying,
I think what you're saying, Kev, I mean, too many clubs are the same.
What we're doing off the pitch at the minute, which is probably causing a bit of negativity.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, Kev. You know, clubs are being run as a business and not for the fans anymore. And it's more money, and less of that. And especially with the centenary thing, you give back. That's what it's for. And yeah, no, I completely agree. You know, we've got a comment here. Aaron McIntyre has put, seems to be no matter the club, there are happy clappers that settle for mediocrity.
Yeah, just on that, I think that's a little bit harsh on that positive Miller. I think she's, you know, as we've all said, we are only 2 games in, so I think she's got a bad point. So I do think that's a little bit harsh, that comment.
What I would say is, if we're not discussing these things in podcasts or we're spinning narratives, where are we meant to discuss them? Because it's all well and good. And I've met Positive Miller, as I said pre-show, on one of my first away games, and I've got nothing but love for her. She's a wonderful person. But what I would be saying is, well, what is your suggestion that we do then? Because if we can't talk about it as a set of fans saying, well, all right, things aren't going our way, or what can we do different? We can't just sit in gloom and doom behind our keyboards on X. I don't think that's productive either.
No, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Like you say, I think these opportunities, and particularly like this podcast is an open forum for anybody in the comments that want to come on, talk to us, you know, give us a shout.
John, get her on, John. Sorry, Phil. Let's get her on, John.
Absolutely.
Come on.
John,
probably not.
Would be fantastic. Let's get her on, because she seems to, like you say, you know, it says the positive Miller. That's what we want. We want that positivity side. Yes, we're here to criticize a little bit and give our opinions, and we're not all going to be happy. But having that positivity, absolutely, it's got to be there. Otherwise, you know, if you don't have that positivity, all that's going to end up happening is you're just going to fall further and further down that table, and you're just going to go, told you so, told you so, told you so. You need to
exactly that, Bill. Exactly that, yeah.
One more little thing, just based on these comments on this little thing, because I just want to finish on a bit of a high, hopefully. Is Connor has put, do the panel think we could be in a relegation scrap this season? Again, obviously,
no chance.
He's mentioned it a couple of times, so I'd stick it on there. Hopefully not, obviously.
Yeah, I think we could be, yes. I'm not saying we will be, but I think there's potential we could be, yes.
No.
The Bez thinks there's a potential.
Mm-hmm.
No.
John and Kev both seem no. So why Bez? Why do you feel as though
100% no?
A lot from what was being said on the podcast. You know, we're signing these foreign players who no one knows anything about. Now, just as an example, that Marta, he does look good, and when he came on Saturday, he looked quite niffy and quite skillful, quite tricky. But at the same time, he also looks really skinny and really, like, you know, has no strength at all. And I just think that, you know, if we're looking to players like that to keep us up, then I think we're really struggling. So we took a massive gamble on signing what I think are good players, as in Yearwood, Denson, Dangor. But if all these 3 players get injured, then we're really struggling because you're going to have a midfielder, Keller, who's nearly 40. You're going to have Hamish Douglas, who's not ready, and you're going to have Kieran McGuckin, who also isn't ready. So that's why I think there's a chance we could be in the relegation. I'm not saying we will be. I just think there's a chance we could be.
John and Kev, you were categoric no. You know, you
No.
think you're going to do, you know, like, I think
We'll be
both
all right.
met the table, you know, 10th, between 10 and 15. So you're adamant that no.
Yeah.
I
I
said 10. So yeah.
Sorry, John. Go on.
It's okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, no one's too good to go down. We saw that with Luton Town. They went from Premier League to Championship to League One. So no one's too. I'm never going to say we're too good to go down, but we're not going to go down. We've got enough in his locker, and I do think another transfer window. I know January's a long time away, but we can get some loans in our free agents. I don't know. I think I totally get what Bez is saying. We need a bit of luck on the injury front and the medics table. We need to keep some of them players out, get some players back. But I personally think we've got enough in locker to stay up. But I mean, still, we're not going to be relegation.
Are you not concerned like I know you do like Hanshaw. Are you not concerned that he's had zero managerial experience? Does that not concern you at all?
No.
That's you, Kev. Sorry. No. Okay. Fair enough.
We've got
answer.
a slight delay. Either we've got a slight delay on Kev, or Kev's just like, no.
No.
How do you
No, I'm not concerned. I've got bigger things to concern about than that.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I mean, there's a lot of comments in. There's a load of comments coming in, and I wish we had all the time to go through all the comments all throughout the evening and whatnot. But a lot of comments talking about finances and things like that. I think that's another decision, maybe towards middle of the season, and see how maybe the next transfer window looks, to then discuss about obviously finances and where the finances go, and you know, whether it should be going on fans for centenaries or better players and so on and so forth. So I think we'll try and end this show on a bit of a high. And the way that I'd like to do that, I'd like to know about the next two games. We've got the cup game tomorrow. Bez, I believe you're going to it. Fantastic. And then you've got the away game at the weekend to Cardiff. So thinking of the powers of positivity and stuff like that, let's end the show on a high. We've currently got 107 views. We've got loads of comments coming in left, right, and centre. What your guys' opinions on both the cup game tomorrow and also the away game to Cardiff at the weekend?
I'll start.
Oh no, John, go on then.
I'll start. Hugo 3-0 tomorrow.
Hugo 3-0.
Saturday, I think, is a tough draw. Cardiff haven't been playing great. I would take a 1-1 right now. I would take a draw right now.
On 1-1. Okay.
Yep.
Kev, what do you reckon?
I'm honestly, I couldn't get two shits about tomorrow. I'm not. I forgot we got a game till you just said that. Then I'm not bothered. I certainly won't waste my evening. Yeah, do you know what, mate? If we get to the semi-final, I'll probably go to that. And final. Apart from that,
Yes, Kev.
apart from that, I'm not interested. It is. It's a pointless cup. Me personally, I wouldn't be playing Hugo. I'd be playing McGuckin. I'd be playing some of the young uns and give them a run out and see if they are actually good enough or able to come in. And I think Cardiff at the weekend. I was going up until about 5 p.m. on Saturday. I was going to Cardiff. I'm now golfing. That's what I think.
Hey.
What do you think the score will be, though? Do you think we'll get a result or not?
I think we'll get. I think Cardiff are quality. They've just come down from Championship. I think they've signed some good players. Honestly, it sounds awful. I'm not trying to be negative anyway. I'd like a draw. I think we'll be on the end of a 3-0 or 3-1 thumping.
Oof.
Sadly.
Wow, that's
Unless it rains.
There's comments
Yeah.
that quite mixed about them. You know, people think that Cardiff's probably going to nick it. To be fair, but let's stay positive and let's go to positive. Bez, what do we reckon, Bez?
Yeah, Tomorrow, I'm only going because we've never played Salford away, with fans being allowed to watch. So that's the reason why I'm going. Just tick the ground off as a Rotherham fan. I think we will make as many changes as we can do. I think Hugo will probably still play because there's no one else. Even though McGuckin will come in, I think it will be McGuckin and Hugo start. I think we'll win tomorrow 2-1. And then, unfortunately, I completely agree with Kev. I think on Saturday, I don't really get hammered because, as I've already said, defensively, I think we looked okay against Stevenage. So I'm going for just a 2-0 defeat on Saturday.
Fabulous. Thank you for that, Bez. So I think in general, I think Saturday, going to struggle a little bit. Golden time tomorrow to let some of the younger players play and see what can happen. So we're coming up to about an hour and a half now, guys. So I feel as though we've covered everything that we needed to cover tonight. We've had loads and loads of love, loads of comments coming in. Lots of just general nice comments. Poppy earlier on in the show said, Bez still looks like Alan Sugar there on there. We had some lovely comments from Mark Pittsmore towards Lee. I know those two are really good friends, Sheffield Wednesday fan. So yeah, thanks for stopping by and watching the Rotherham show, let's call it, or the Monday Millers. It's just nice to see other fans from other areas. I know Poppy's a Leeds fan. Obviously, we've got James Hutchinson. He's watching tonight, another Leeds fan. He's just made a comment. Actually, Cardiff is a tough place to go. So lots of love from everybody in the comments. So thank you so much, everybody. 112 views we're on at the minute. Fantastic.
Nice.
For me, it's been a pleasure to host this show. Like I say, not a Rotherham fan. It's opened my eyes about League One quite in depth, really, and actually what goes on in League One, and the battles that you guys have. All I can say is just stay as positive as possible. Like I say, 2 games in, I think it's key to just keep that positive mind and keep that going forward. And supporting the manager and supporting the team as best as you guys can. We could be in a lot worse place. So
you've been a great host, Phil, as well. Thank you. Great.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, guys. And Kev, thank you for coming on. I know it's your first time on this podcast. You're always welcome on this podcast. We have Monday.
I've got a spare DHK shirt, size large and all.
Send it over. You might have a converted Forest fan here. I might end up being a 2-team.
No.
I'm not allowed to be. So I think unless anybody's got any dying things that they want to talk about, I think for tonight we're going to say bye to the fans that have been watching. Thank you so much. Please tune in for Thursday night. We've got another show on Thursday night, which is a general football chat. Tends to be more focused on the Prem and the Championship. But again, everybody's welcome to come on and have a chat and voice their opinions on that. If there's nothing else, guys, I'm going to call it a night and get some well-earned time.
Just quickly, obviously, everyone watching, please like, share, and subscribe on X, YouTube, all that jazz. And obviously, we're going live again Thursday, but keep tuning in, guys, because we do appreciate all the comments and feedback. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you for the love, guys, and we'll all see you very, very soon.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.